Okay. Okay, so today we will start with the customs management. So till yesterday we have done the complaints management. So now total we have 4 topics within the duties. So one is complaints management, customer management, risk management, and interest chat. So interest chat is something theoretical part. I cannot show it in the system. And custom management is I will show you. And the risk management we have 3 topics again. It's a provincial process, letter of credit, and a restitution. So custom management will be having a transit process and custom process. So again we will be having within the customs we will be having a normal process of the customs and simplified customs process. So I will tell you what is the difference and all, but before that we will just go with the customs management. So what is basically a customs management is, till yesterday we have just seen the sales order or delivery is hitting the GTS system. So now what kind of a material or what to whom we are selling, so we have only limited, we have checked that within the GTS, but if you want to declare to the customs, there should be some custom system to which the GTS should interact. So how GTS is interacting to the custom system? Compliance management is from the R3 to GTS. Customs management is from GTS to the custom system. So here the custom system can be any kind of a legacy system which customs is using. So for example, AES is one system where it is there in the US countries. Atlas is there in Germany, and there is a PDLC, it is for Belgium. Sagita is for Netherlands, and ICS is for ICS is there for Australia. Okay, so Japan is also some ICMS, and Switzerland we have a NCTS. Okay, so each and every country they have different custom systems. So our duty or our responsibility is now how we are going to enable this custom system and the GTS. So mapping how the documents are going from custom system to the mapping of GTS to the custom system, and vice versa. So to automate and standardize imports and export process in order to coordinate with the customs authorities. So customs management is used to automate the process of receiving the data from GTS to the customs systems and speeding up goods imports and exports and reducing the handling cost for customs relevant transactions. So that means we are just speeding the goods and imports. Like if you would say, if you think if you don't have the customs system or your online transactions, so what will happen is there is no such a provision to declare to the customs through online. So what will happen? Somebody might have will go to the customs, okay, and they will declare as a manually using a paper documentation. But since it's a paper documentation, customs authorities also will be taking long time. Right, they will take long time to verify and again give the acknowledgement to the company. So you're delaying the delivery to the customs, or you're not meeting the customer expected delivery date. So using this online transaction, so we will be speeding up the customer needs, or we are just saying that customer expected date is met. So set up electronic communication with the customs authorities in individual countries. So we have different communications. So each and every country will be having this authorities. As I said, like for example, ICS for Australia, ICMS for Japan, AES for US, and Atlas is for there in Germany. As a prerequisite, we should have done following before we start with the customs. So what are those? So master data already we have seen. Product classification we have seen, communication process, control of goods movement subject to excise duty, document printing and communication, logistics integration of the feeder system and custom system. So master data we have seen, product classification we have seen, communication flows. Now we are going to see how the document or how your orders from GTS is going to the custom system. And control movement we will see, and document printing and communication we will see now, and logistics integration of feeder system and custom system. So this also we are going to see. Do you have any question now? You have any question here?
No. No, Santosh, you can go ahead.
Okay. So as I said, we have two kinds of processes. One is export process and one is import process. This is for customs. Export processes, if you are doing for outbound transaction, which is called as export. Import process, if you are getting the material inside using the transaction, which is import process. Export process with the customs are based on the customs status. In the export process, products with duty paid or without duty paid are involved. So when you are exporting any material, there will be two kinds of material that you are going to export. Normally, in SG or MM technology, we have different kinds of materials: raw materials, finished goods, trading materials. So, but when it comes to the GTS, only we are dealing with two kinds of materials. One is export material with duty paid, export material without duty paid, or duty free materials. Okay. So community goods are called duty paid and non-community goods are called non-duty paid. Export process defines as products being exported from one country to third country. So third country in the sense it's another country. See here, this is an export. We have an export declaration, office of export, office of exit, and border. So here exporter is your company. Exporter is nothing but your company. The first step is at office of export. Okay, at the office of export, you have to report that I am sending this material. I am sending this material to this particular country. So then there will be some statistical department based on the countries. Like for example, EU have the statistical department, but not all the countries will not have this. And the next one will be your declarations, whichever you submitted to export office, will be monitored by the statistical offices or the customs authorities. It's nothing but you just say customs authorities. Then they will give you a seal as office of exit. So it's nothing but they will allow you that this material or this shipment can be started. Okay, so this is the process. Normally it will happen in the GTS. So you are you clear on this now with this diagram or this picture? You have any questions? See, exporter is nothing but your company. So they will declare the customs declarations. So the customs declarations will be given at office of export. Then the declarations will be just monitored by the customs authorities and they will either approve it or reject it. That is nothing but office of exit. Okay.
Yeah.
So duty paid goods, when you are exporting, there is a standard process with single customs declarations. Simplified process such as local clearance and incomplete customs declarations, we have to further declare supplementary declarations. So this I will just put it in the Excel sheet. It will be easy for you to understand. Yeah. So our R3 flow is your sales order is created, right? So from the sales order, you are going to create a delivery. So then it is a billing document, right? This is your outbound normally. Agree? So this sales order will go and hit into the GTS system as export document. Okay, so this also will come and hit into GTS system as export document. This is the GTS system. Okay, we'll just put this as a GTS system. This is your R3 and this is for GTS. So when a sales order is created, it will come and hit into GTS system as export document. So when delivery also it is export document, billing will come and hit into GTS system as export declaration. So now just identify the difference. One is export document. Sales orders and deliveries will create into the GTS system as export documents. Billing document will come and hit into the GTS as export declaration. The same way if you are doing it for purchase orders, then inbound delivery, after this we have GR. So this also same. So when you are creating the purchase order, the purchase order will come and into the GTS as export document. Inbound delivery will come and hit into GTS system as export document, and GR will come and hit into GTS system as export declaration. So this is the starting point that what we have to make clear. So these two are part of your customs. I cannot rotate this picture. I will just put this, okay. And this is customs. So here the same thing here also, it's a compliance management and customer management. So now you understand it. So what is this customs and what document will go to the compliance management, and what is the customs and what document will go to the customs management. Basically compliance management is only just to have some pre-checks, to validate some pre-checks, that is nothing but your SPL, which we have seen, embargo, and next one is your license. So these three checks will be carried out at custom compliance management. Customs management is only just is useful to communicate to the customs authorities. Now I will just show you, like in the R3 document. Okay, I will just put it here. Yeah, it's R3. This is the R3 column, and this is the GTS column, and this is customs column. Now what will happen? In the R3, a billing document will be created. To the GTS, what is the document it will hit in the GTS? That is declaration, right? Export declaration. So once the declaration document is created, so what will happen? Since we have to communicate this to the customs, so in the export declaration document, there are some certain configurations or certain procedures that what we have to map so that it will come and it will be the customs system. So for example, just say if it is an Atlas system, we are dealing with a German system, it's Atlas. Whenever a GTS document is created as a declaration document, automatically there will be one message will refer to the Atlas system. So just put here, there is an outbound message will refer to the Atlas. So maybe I'll just say this is completely Atlas system. It's a custom system. Okay, so this is a custom system which is coming from GTS system and declaring to the Atlas. So it will be shown or it will be sent via IDOC. So that IDOC messages will be M message. This is by default, you have to remember these are the M messages. M messages are nothing but these are all outbound messages which are coming from GTS system to the custom system, which is Atlas, for example. The same here, it can be Atlas, or it can be AES, or it can be BDLC, anything. Is it clear? Are you clear till this point? Or shall I repeat it again?
Santosh, better can you just repeat once again?
Okay. So till the complaints management, we are only dealing with the sales orders and delivery documents. So sales orders and delivery documents are limited only for a GTS system. So they will not communicate or they will not be sent again back, sent again further to the custom systems. When the billing document is created, so billing document will create into the GTS as a declaration document, and the document is relevant to hit a Atlas system or custom system. So when a billing document is created, that export declaration document will come into picture. So then the export declaration document will be sent to the Atlas through IDOC. So here I will again put one more point.
So this Atlas is within GTS, huh?
No, this custom. So this is a legacy system. It's not within GTS. It's a custom system. So it's a local system.
Okay, so this custom system might be anything, right? So is it only the Atlas or it depends on the organization? How is it?
No, it is always Atlas. For example, if you are dealing with Germany, it is always a Atlas. And if you are dealing with US, it is always a AES. So it's not their own system. It is a customs authority system, country system.
Okay, it is country specific design. So is this a part of SAP one?
No, this is a legacy. No, this legacy system. It's not related to SAP.
Okay. No, what I meant was, is it been supported by SAP folks only, or with some other vendors? This Atlas system or the other custom system, what you're talking about for specific countries?
No, this is not SAP product. It's some other product. It's a local product. So local. Like it can be some Java product or something, but we are not responsible for that Atlas. So we are responsible from just sending the documents from our GTS to the Atlas.
Okay. So when we send the document you're talking about, it will be sending through IDOC, right? So is it that it supports only IDOC, or are there any other multiple ways of sending the documents?
It supports only IDOC. So right now there is no other format, but in future maybe they will be replaced with the XI or PI format, XML. So but right now it is only for Atlas, and the middleware is Cyberbird. Since it's not an SAP system, there will be always a middleware. So this middleware what we are using is a C worker, or some other also using Axway or something.
Okay.
Okay, so once a message is sent to the Atlas system, it is nothing but it is a declaration document. The declaration document will come and it into the Atlas system. From the Atlas system, you will be receiving one message back to the GTS system. Okay, so this message is called iMessage. And this is acknowledgement message. So once acknowledgement message has come, there will be again another IDOC will come from the Atlas system saying that approval message.
So is there any specific IDOC numbers for this, or how is it? Do we call this as a description of a message or iMessage?
Yeah, we have that. I will show it in the configuration. So specific numbers will be there. Like for example, if it is Atlas, right? So Atlas will be M09 or something.
Okay.
iMessages also, it will be some acknowledgement message will be having some 9070 some, and I will show you all the details. I will give you. No problem.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay, so this is a approval or it can be a rejection message. First is acknowledge message, which is coming from Atlas to the GTS saying that okay, we have received your declaration, and after that it is sent again back from the Atlas system to GTS saying that this your declaration is accepted, or sometimes they may reject it. Okay, so just for whatever the reason, they will just send the reason back to the GTS system. So the time when the IDOC message, which is message triggered, and the time and the time it receives the success message, which is approval message. So till such time, the GTS export declaration document will be freezed. You cannot make any changes. It will be automatically go to display mode.
Shall I come again?
The time the M message, the time between the M message and I message, the GTS export declaration document will be in a freezed mode. So you cannot make any changes to the document. Even you cannot change any dates unless you get an approval message, this message, the final second inbound.
So freeze mode in the sense, how do we get it in the freeze mode? Is it that it doesn't allow you to
it will be a display mode. No, it will be in a display mode. You cannot change or you cannot do anything.
Okay. Do you have any indication stating that it's in the freeze mode that you are not able to do any changes? Or how do we identify it's in the freeze mode? Well, is it only on when it's a display mode? It's been default understood that it's in the freeze mode.
Yeah, if it is a display in the sense you cannot edit it. Basically, it is a display. What I said is a freeze in the sense you cannot make any changes to the declaration document. So it will be always, even if you log into the change mode also, it will be shown as a not editable mode. That is a freeze mode. So why doing such a way is because the information whatever you send to the customer should be is a online. It's a genuine information. So that way by default the system will make the document as a display. You should not do any change unless the IDOC comes, approval IDOC comes to the GTS, and it will only enable you to make any changes.
Okay, so once the acknowledgement is received, immediately we can do the changes, and again the signal will be sent to Atlas.
Not all the fields will be enabled. Maybe some, like for example transportation mode, or there can be some other fields which are relevant for changes, which are not mandatory or not having much significance in that class. So like for example I say material code, or maybe a material group you want to change, so that you can change. So there are some significant information, or there's some sensitive information which only has to be changed by the customs. So those information you cannot change. It will be always grayed out. Once you declare and you got approval from the customs authorities, then the document will be completely, it's under the control of the customs. The GTS document will be under the control of the customs unless you approve or reject.
Okay.
So when you are sending back the iMessage from the Atlas system to the final iMessage, they will be sending that MRN number. This is movement reference number. So this message or this number will ensure that you can start your shipment. So then the export authorities will start this shipment, okay, and they will process the shipment. With this MRN number only, they can ensure that they can start the shipment. So now they will have the e-message. E-messages are nothing but it is a email messages to the customer. Now we are not sending anything to the customs, but we are sending the messages to the customs. What kind of a messages will be shown in the e-messages is, so we will have customs duty, customs duty, what customs duty has to pay. Okay, so any other documents which are relevant for submission, maybe I can say goods movement documents. So these documents will be given to the customs either through email or you also have a print messages, e-messages. So e-messages are basically these are our print messages. So the same documents, whatever the documents here we are sending as an email, we can just give a printout and we can hand out to the customs either through scanning or something. So these two are the another message types. So now, are you clear till this point? So we have a customs export declaration, then it will hit to the customs, and we will be having a message and iMessage.
Yes, Santosh.
Clear till this? Yeah. So now in this export declaration, we have two kinds of processes. One is simplified process and normal process. So what is the difference between the simplified process and the normal processes? Simplified process, basically this is the process where your export authorities or consignee will be having some authorizations. So here we don't have such authorizations. So what are these authorizations? Basically, when any exporter or consignee is given authorization, so that means he is considered as a privileged customer, privileged exporter, and for that customers the process will be simplified process. So it will be given priority to the normal process. So what is the advantage of having a simplified process? Simplified process is we can do incompleted declarations. Incompleted declarations in sense. So in SD we have a incompleteness logs, right? Incompleteness procedure, incompleteness logs are there. So that means the document is not completed. But there are some fields which are missing, which are ought to be added or ought to be entered. So those documents are missing in the document. So those fields are missing in the document. So such document is called as an completed documents. You will be getting incompleteness message, right? So either route is missing or pricing condition is missing, or it will say ship to party address is missing, something. You will get such a kind of a message based on your incompleteness procedure in the RP document. The same kind in the GTS also, we will just say incompleteness messages will trigger. What are these incompleteness messages is when any GTS document, export document is created, there are some such relevant fields. So those fields are transportation mode, ship to country, okay, and the dates. So there are certain dates, So all these dates, so these are the values which has to be entered manually. Root. So there are some fields which are relevant or which are plays a significant role while considering whether it's completed or incomplete. So if any such values are not entered, so that document will be considered as an incompleted document. So now coming back to the authorized consignee, even the declaration document is incompleted. Even the declaration document is incompleted. The authorized consignee can declare this to the customs. But normally, when if it is a incompleted documents, you will not have authorization, or your system will not allow you to declare to the customs. In the sense, this system will accept if it is an incompleted document. So it will, for which it will not accept. It will not accept for the non-authorized persons or non-authorized consignees. It will only accept for the authorized consignees. Are you clear on this? Authorized, non-authorized, simplified, non-normal process? Is it clear?
Yes, Santosh.
Okay. So even if the document is incomplete, the authorized consignees or authorized exporters can declare to the customs. When the iMessage acknowledgement message is coming, but that's for such a simplified process, they will give a time. Like, for example, they will say, okay, you can just declare within 10 days. In this message, they will give some time, the 10 days. In the 10 days, you have to give this complete declaration. Okay, that process is called as supplementary declaration. So here we have normal declaration, which is export declaration. So this export declaration is common for both normal process and simplified process. But here in the supplementary declarations is only there in the simplified process, but not in the normal process. We don't have any supplementary declaration here. So supplementary declaration is only enabled in case you have authorizations and if the document is completed in the first run. So is it done? Is it clear?
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll just go to the system. The problem with this customs is it's online, right? I cannot show you from the GTS to the customs. I will just show you only till the GTS system. From there, the communication what we are happening is only just messages will trigger. Yeah, I will show you that. It's a real time, right? So we cannot show you that one in the demo system. But I will show you how it will be happening. I will just go to the SPRO. So there is a communication page. So configuration, what we are dealing is normally the IDOCs, whatever the IDOCs we are triggering from the ATRI. So if any printout messages, how these messages will trigger the IDOC messages and all in the ATRI. So we have a concept called output type, right, in ATRI. Do you agree? We have output type concept, needs transaction, output processors, output condition types, programs, printouts and all, right? But here in the GTS, right? Yeah, in R3.
Yes.
But in it is not with the output, it is a PPF, which is nothing but a post processing framework. It's called as a post processing framework, PPF. So this is what the first message. Define technical medium for messages, PPF for general documents. So
currently it's on the exploited.
This sorry, what is it?
So suddenly it sounds as Provident Fund. The PPF.
Okay, what is it? You have any question on the PPF?
No. I was just telling suddenly it sounds as Provident Fund.
Oh, yeah, it's not a P problem. It's a PPF is post processing framework. Yes, correct. Whatever
Okay.
you said, PPF is public provident fund. Yeah. So this is PPF is post processing framework. So we have a initial messages how it is getting triggered to the JTS document. I will tell you. So technical medium for messages using the PPF. So here we have a action profiles, action definitions, and processing type. So these are all already available action profiles. It is not required for us to create anything new. These are all what SAP has provided, predefined. So each and every country, what they are doing, everything is predefined. You have to just choose. Only the action what we have is, like for example, you take Germany. See here, Germany customs export processing, Germany customs import processing, EMCS outbound, okay, and EMCS inbound, transit and transit import. So we have seen export processing and we have seen import processing, and we have to see what is EMCS and what is transit. So whatever we have learned here, we have seen export, we have seen import, EMCS. So now I'll just define this export document. It is when any outbound delivery is happening, it is export to customer. Do you agree with this? It's inbound. It is for vendor, from the vendor. Do you agree?
Okay.
EMCS is special processes, special procedures. So transit is within EU, and this is for only imports. So now just I'm giving the definition here. Export is when any sales order or billing document comes and it's into GTS, so that is treated as an export process. And if any import processes, if any GR document hits into GTS, it's called import process. ECMSs, we have some different process I will tell you. And transit is any imports can happen within the EU region. So within the EU in the sense, it's from Germany to France, or it is from France to Poland, or if it is from Hungary to Sweden, like this. So within the EU countries, if there is an import or export happening, it is called as a transit process. It's not a customs process or not export declarations. So just you have to understand the difference from the transit to the customs process, export process. Are you clear on this?
Okay.
Okay. Coming back to the configuration. So we have action profiles, action definitions, and processing types. So it is not required for you to change these in the real time also. You can just use this. So these are the standard one what SAP has provided. Just go to export and action definition. So here you will be seeing what are the relevant export processes that Germany is following. So these are the relevant processes or the relevant documents what we have to submit to the export of material from Germany. Only this. Why SAP is given like this? Because this is a legal requirement. We cannot go and analyze that in what is happening in Germany, right? So that's why SAP is given this pre-notes or pre-configured system. So like for example, you want to issue declaration of export. You want to do declaration of export to the customs. So this is DECUEX EXAZ MEXPDAT. This is for action definition. Action definition is nothing but it's a kind of a method what you are following. You are just saying that I want to declare the export document. So if your exporter is authorized consignee, then he can give the incompleted document to the customs, and after some time you can do the supplementary declarations. That is what I told you, right? That the difference between the general and supplementary is, general is you having the completed documents will hit into the GTS system. In case if it is simplified process or authorized process, then incompleted documents also will go into the GTS. But after some time which is provided by the customs, you have to do supplementary declarations with whatever the missing information. Is it clear now? Are you clear on this? What is the supplementary declaration and what is the general declaration? Okay. So now these are the different action definitions what we have, like certificate of origin. If you want to give the certificate of origin declarations, or if you want to declare to the customs, or declarations for export. So they have a different processes what we have. You can just take any of this. Okay, I'll just take this customs office. I will go to, so here what system is doing is, whenever action profile export is triggering, it will contain the action definitions. I will just put this configuration. Action definition, action profiles. So action definitions is at country level, what is the process you are doing. Like for example, you are doing it for Germany, what is the process? You are doing export or you are doing import. It is an action profile. So within the Germany, what country declaration you are doing? You are doing the declarations, general process, or it's supplementary declaration, or whether it's a certificate of origin, COO, or rules of origin. So what are this you are declaring? So all this action profiles. It is nothing but what is the process you are following, and within the process what documents you are declaring. So that is what available here in the action definitions. So now if you have taken one document, action definition, so we have an action definition, we have an action description, and we have action messaging, budgeting. So what we understand is, when a message or declaration document is hit into the GTS system, it has to have some messages which is coming to the Atlas. So this is what we are now doing. This setup we are doing as a configuration using a PPF. When a message or when a declaration document hits here, you see here processed it. So IDOC per trigger. So that is what we understand, right? So how the IDOC per trigger, we have to set up either it is immediate processing or processing when document saving or processing using a selection report. So the same thing we have in the NACE transaction output type also in SG. Do you remember this? How IDOC should be processed, whether it should be processed immediately or it should be processed at the time of saving or any using a specific report. Here also we are doing the same thing. When a message is triggered, so this message at what time it should process and hit into the customs. We are telling this should hit into the GTS system after saving the document. So immediate processing, the timing is not required. Sort order for display. So within you have a n number of messages, right? A message and message, I message. So what is the preference? You can just put 1, 2, 3 like this. So automatically it will trigger in the way. Is it scheduled automatically, or is it changeable in dialog mode, or executable in dialog mode, or display in the tool mode? So you will be getting a pop-up. Normally when any message or printout is coming or any IDOC is coming, you will be getting a message saying that what message is going from which system to which system, or what is the logical systems, or what is the port of departure or port of destination. All these things will be there in the pop-up messages. You are scheduling automatically using the program. So that means the processing, you are triggering this as a process. So this is only just triggering. So now what is the partner determination for the access? So we have any partner function, like who is processing this. So if you have anything, you can just enter this. So determination technology is determination using the conditions that can be transported. So normally we will be doing this as a transportable transactions. Rule type is baddies will be there. Normally it is a baddies or it will be some method calls. So normally these are all done by your ABAPers. So it's from our side is nothing to do here. You will just say whether what is the process you want to follow. So then action description is you just can enter some text here. What is this? This is an export declaration which you are doing via the customs office. Action merging is whether you want to process or you want to merge what are the uncompleted documents or incompleted documents into one go, or one unprocessed action for each action definition. So you are just saying only one unprocessed document should be there, or each processing type one should be there. So whatever you enable here, the system will process. Now if I take this processing type, we are sending this as a method call, or sometimes it will be sent as a printout. The method call is through IDOC. So action definition, this is action profile. Within that we are sending this message using the method call, and this is a method IDOC will create and it will be the custom system. The same thing if I take for any electronic message, like for example I will say email. I will go to the processing type. Okay, so here we are creating a mail. Previously we have created IDOC, but here we are creating the mail. Now if I take any print message, we will see if any print message is there. Yeah, so now this is a print message. If you see here print message, it will be having a form name and it will be having a PDF and it will be having a format. So we have not seen this for the email messages or method call messages. If it's only external communication, this will be enabled. So we will be having the form name, and this is a PDF form. It's a Adobe Forms, and this is the print program. Okay, so these are all e-messages. So here we have to only concentrate on the action definitions, action profiles, and processing types. Okay, so here we will be seeing whether we are using the method call or it's the external send using the printouts. We will differentiate here. So here you have to remember one action definition can be enabled only with one processing type. Either it can be method call or printout or email. So we cannot enable multiple for one action definition. Okay.
Okay.
I think it will be very tricky at this point because it's first time you are understanding it, so that's why it will be difficult. But keep on while you are further going in the subsequent classes, you will understand this. What is this? But terminology wise, first of all, you have to make sure that export document. What is the difference from the export document to the export declaration? Okay, and what are the different systems of custom system? How it is going? What are the different messages? What is the MRN number? Anyhow, at the time when we actually go to the system for this custom declaration, I will tell you in detail.
Sure.
Okay, so tomorrow we don't have, right? Again, you will be coming on next Tuesday. That's what you said.
Yeah, but Tuesday.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we'll meet on next Tuesday.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.